Moment of silence.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. All right, first thing is the agenda, consent agenda. This is regularly run-of-the-mill stuff every month. No questions. Somebody want to make a motion to approve? Someone second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I oppose, motion carried. Community comment? Anybody? Don't look like it. Warren Olson is here tonight with us. Thank you for coming.
Here's my,
You probably got a heck of a tough job.
well, so the thing about it that I like the most is that this district, we all kind of talk common sense on a regular basis, so I appreciate that. This is my yearly walk around the district, stopping at every city council, every county commission, and every school board in the district, just to make sure everyone's got my cell phone number, know how to reach me. Here's the deal. You might have remembered, or you might have noticed that I wasn't here last year, because at this point in time, I was just about on a plane to Kuwait. I had a deployment with the United States Army Reserve. I'm a major in the Army and was over there. So I wasn't hiding from you. I was actually hiding from Iranian missiles because they were firing over my head at that time. So you'll excuse the fact that I wasn't there this last year to kind of say hi and make sure that
I remember we heard that.
yeah. So you probably missed me. You're like, where the heck is that?
I tried calling you then.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, well, you left me a message.
Did I? Yeah.
Oh, I was over in Iraq, so yeah, that's why I didn't get your
That's
message.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. So phone coverage in Iraq, not great. Northern Syria, really bad. Really bad. It thought I was in Turkey. I was not in Turkey. I was in northern Syria. Kuwait's amazing service. The only problem is people call you at 3 a.m. because it's 5 o'clock their time in the evening. So I always try to answer at 3 a.m. and hey, what's going on? You know where I'm at? You know what time it is? So
You know what I'm doing?
I thought that was all sorts of fun. So first I'll talk about what happened this year. Then we got to talk about this water project because we just have to have a conversation and see what strategy and which avenue we want to go down. Because I got a couple ideas. First off, we're going to see $125 million in property tax relief in the state. So that's going to directly affect your constituents. We got $254 million worth of car tab fee reductions. That goes into effect next January. All right. So those are two big wins that we thought were $375 million just about in property tax, car tab fee reductions. That's taxes on our people that's going down.
Before you go too far, can I ask, where do you save that money? Do you cut to save that amount of money to us?
No, so the way we did this year, now remember, we were 1/2 of 1/3 of government. We had the Republicans held 1/2 of the House of Representatives. Democrats had the other half. It's only happened one time in history other than this. In the 160 years that Minnesota's been a state, we've only ever had a tie twice, and this was one of them. So we had a tie in the House. We were not in the majority in the Senate. Governor obviously is the governor. So the way that we're doing this, $374 million worth of reductions on the cost of our constituents, it's a game of ships and gimmicks. Okay. There was a budget surplus. We took part of that surplus and handed it back to the constituents. So we're not cutting, nothing got cut.
Okay.
The only thing is that money got backfilled for the time being. All right. And so that's going to, depending on how the election goes in November, that'll be the real direction that things go. A tied house meant that we brought forward what we thought was really important, which was fees and tax reductions. They brought forward what they thought was really important, and we argued about it, and this is kind of what stuck. So that's only guaranteed for this year and to 2027 with regard to tab fees. Everything else is going to be dependent on the election this year. So that $374 million in property tax and car tab fees, it's just a shift and a gimmick from we took too much money. We gave it back as best as we could this year. The equation stays the same. Okay, so after this money comes out, the equation goes back to the way it was. So, word to the wise, if you need to buy a new car, wait until 2027. Because if you buy it in 2027, the fee will be based off of 2022 mathematics for that year only. The That's the only guarantee, all right? So if the Democrats win in November, buy a new car next year. That's my plan, because it'll automatically, I mean, a $60,000 car, according to the current evaluation, is almost $1,000 tab fee. And it takes 3 years before you see a dramatic decrease in the cost. So,
3 years before that $1,000 starts dropping off.
yeah, it's ridiculous. In 3 years, the depreciation according to the state's evaluation is 10% in 3 years. We all know that a car depreciates far greater than 10% in 3 years, but the state only depreciates it by 10% in the first 3 years. And it's the MSRP, it is not what you paid for it. So like the truck that I purchased was $10,000 off the MSRP, and I have to pay town fees on the MSRP, which is $10,000. So, and that's the 1.54% of the MSRP is what you pay with the depreciation schedule. That's garbage. So,
Wow.
yeah, it is. It's rough. It's really rough. But that's two things that we did this year. I was talking with one of my superintendents before session started, and I always ask my superintendents the same thing, and I should probably start asking my city councils the same thing. Give me one sentence that I can take up to St. Paul and use to advocate for education. This is because I was talking to the superintendent. Same thing would apply to a city council. One sentence that I can take up to advocate on your behalf, kind of an idea. We were having coffee in January. He told me, Bjorn, he says, my one sentence is just give us a chance to catch our breath. That was it. He said, don't throw anything else at us. Like at this point, we don't have any excitement that you're going to get anything changed, like for the better. We don't think you're going to reduce any mandates, reduce any fees. I'm not going to ask for that. I'm going to ask you to give us a deep breath. Let us catch our breath as we're running this marathon, trying to catch up. And I think that's what we did. I think that out of anything, we didn't increase any taxes. We didn't increase any fees. We didn't increase any mandates on the population. We didn't do any of that kind of stuff. The only thing that we did was provide some reduced taxation fee reduction. We saved Hennepin County Medical Center, which was just abysmal, and it was $200 million, which is ridiculous. And the package that it came with had a little bit for our rural crisis or critical access hospitals. So Medelia Health, which is in dire straits right now, is going to get a little bit, but not enough to save them. So we're saving Hennepin County Medical Center, this multi-billion-dollar establishment, but we're not saving Medelia Health. The state's not saving them. The people of the area, people of Watonwan County are going to be asked to save Medelia Health, which I think is a tragedy because an independent healthcare system like Medelia Health is a wonderful thing. We need to keep it. But that's a different story. That's kind of aside. Bonding bill this year happened. We had a little bit of money for local government, towns and bridges. So you'll see a little bit of money into your own personal treasury. But when we're talking about what this district got in terms of bonding, we got $800,000. So Martin County got $300,000 because they had a veterans, their veteran office needs to be revamped. And then Faribault County got $500,000. And that's because they're working with the city of Blue Earth to build a road that they're going to increase the size of their industrial park. So with that being said, $800,000 is a far cry away from 10.5 million. When the newspaper showed that Martin County got $300,000, I got a phone call from the mayor of Grenada, and he says, "Why didn't you give us that $300,000?" I said, "Well, because you guys are asking for $4 million. I didn't think 300,000 was going to be a far cry. I mean, that's a far cry away from $4 million bucks." And he says, "Well, the project that we really, really need is $1.8 million, and 300,000 off of 1.8 is substantial money." I was like, "Well, great. I wish you would have told me that sooner because that would have weighed heavily on my evaluation of where we're going to put this money." And so my conversation with you today needs to lean on the idea that 10.5 is not an insurmountable amount. I'm well on my way to one of the most senior Republicans in the legislature. This year, I'll be about, assuming I get reelected, I'll be the 18th or the 19th most senior member, which means we can lean heavy. But 10.5 is a lot of money. And so the conversation can continue being, I'm asking for 10.5, but we need to start being realistic on what we can get. And what's the bare minimum that I can ask for in order to make the project happen? And what's the timeline on it? Because And then also, can we just play a game of shifts and gimmicks as well? I'm going to be one of the absolute most senior members of the Transportation Committee. I've been on that committee now for 6 years. What that means is that if we're in the majority, I could maybe even be the chairman of the Transportation Committee, which means that the city of Good Thunder could easily find $1 million in the multi-billion dollar transportation bill, for a road or for a bridge. These are all games that we can play and how we want to do it. We just need to think about it and be ready for it. Like I told the commissioners in Martin County, I said, I need puzzle pieces that depending on how things move, which way the levers move in St. Paul, I can put in and see if it sticks, right? So I felt like I only had one big puzzle piece from you guys, and it was a $10.5 million ask that's a big puzzle piece, and I couldn't get it to fit. But if I've got an idea on the next road you guys are looking at building or fixing or something down the road. If you're looking at one of your roads and saying this is going to be a problem for us 5 years from now. If I can fund it next year, great. If it takes me 3 years to fund, great. You don't need, it's not in the plan until 5 years from now. If I can get the money for it, wonderful, right? If that puzzle piece sticks, then we hunt it down and we put that puzzle piece in. If I can get the 10.5 million, we put that puzzle piece in. But I need to know what the smallest level of that puzzle piece is to try and get it to stick. And these are all things that the more options I have from your city and the more flexibility I have from your city, the greater your odds of getting something. If that makes sense to you all. Because I talked with the county commission in Martin County, and they said, hey, if you get a bunch of money, here's a road. Hey, if you get a little bit of money, here's a small office building that needs to be revamped. And so when we got a small amount of money, they got an office building that they got refurbished. So that's kind of the idea. That's what we got to think about. And so here's another thing. Representative Olson, as he's been a representative of this district, he's directly, I've been able to get you money indirectly through things like property tax reduction or local road aid. Like I had a bill my first year that was for $18.5 million for local roads and bridges. So I'm not trying to say that I haven't gotten anything for Good Thunder and I haven't gotten anything for Blue Earth County, because I inadvertently have, but there hasn't been a single piece of legislation that's been turned into law that says, Blue Earth County or something in Blue Earth County direct appropriation. And that's what I'm hunting down. That's what needs to happen, because I've got wins for Faribault County, direct appropriations to Faribault County, direct appropriations to Martin County, since within Martin County, Sherburne's gotten $4 million, and direct appropriations to Watonwan County. The only thing that I don't have is Blue Earth County. I don't have all the checks on I don't have all the numbers on my bingo card filled out yet, where I can look at you all and say, look here, I've been able to do this. And so if Good Thunder gives me these puzzle pieces, I'm able to do that. And I know Mapleton's talking about a road. They're providing some information on a road that they need, but it's like $3.2 million, which is kind of a big ask too. So the more we can play ball, I'm hunting for Blue Earth County and I can't seem to get something for you.
Blue Earth County isn't up there fighting for the Rapidan Dam Bridge?
So the Rapidan Dam Bridge was in the bonding bill as per the governor's recommendation. So the governor's recommendation was $10 million for the Rapidan Dam. And then partway, so because it was his record, like the agencies, they put that in. And then for some reason, it got taken out by the DNR. So that's the issue. And I talked with Josh with the county, and he said that FEMA's finally starting to talk with them. And so I think that there was someone went around the conversation that I was having with the bonding committee. And so I don't know the end result in that, but that was a big question that I had. I talked to the chair of the bonding committee. I said, hey, Rapidan Dam's in there, right? The governor is saying $10 million that's in it. I talked with Luke Frederick there. He's the representative from Mankato, and he's the vice chair of the bonding committee. And he's like, yeah, we're good on Rapidan Dam. And then all of a sudden, the last couple of days, when we finally see what this thing looks like, the Rapidan Dam's not in it. And I'm like, what is going on here? And there were conversations either above me or around me that said that was no longer something that needed to be on the table.
Wow.
I don't have an answer to it.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah, because I think that, and like what Josh told me, he said, the administrator, the county administrator, he said that FEMA's finally talking with them. So I don't know if the federal government is now playing ball better, so the state of Minnesota doesn't need to play ball. I don't know the answer. But something has to happen with the dam.
Yeah. We'll get a bridge first and worry about the dam second.
Yeah,
Oh man, I can't imagine being where you guys are trying to get around that thing.
well, it's,
Well, there's a lot of commerce that came from the west there to the Rapidan elevator.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's impossible. You can't get across that river without driving like 8 miles, 10 miles out of the way.
at least.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's ridiculous how that bridge is just,
And Blue Earth County isn't up there rallying at all to try to,
well, so I've talked with the commissioners a number of times. They came up for Transportation Day on the Hill, or the Transportation Alliance. Vance was up there. Kevin Papp, talked with him a number of times, talked with the county administrator. I've had these conversations with them. The whole conversation was the dam, we need the dam, we got the dam, great. And then all of a sudden the dam fell off. And I don't know how it fell off, but it fell off the last week of session. And I don't have a good answer. The last thing I had a conversation, like I said, with Josh was FEMA started to talk with us. So I don't know how that played into it. I asked, I said, hey, to the chair of the capital investment committee, the bonding committee, I said, hey, what are we doing with this dam? And they said, oh, they gave me something about how it was not going to need to be in the bill anymore. And I said, I don't think that's correct. The county has been telling me they need money for this dam. The governor's recommendation is 10 million, but Luke Frederick is on he's the vice chair of the capital investment committee. So the commissioners of Blue Earth County are talking to him as much as they're talking to me, if not more, with regard to capital investment and bonds. So I truly don't have a good answer on the Rapidan Dam or what happened, because it wasn't in the bill.
What a joke.
Yeah.
Well, with the leadership up there, that's not a surprise.
Yeah, well, where with the governor, it's in the governor's recommendation.
Exactly.
And then it's removed.
He promised.
Without,
Yeah.
we were there. We were all
Yeah.
there the day he showed up, and he's like,
Yeah.
we're gonna do something. How many years has it been now? And we haven't done nothing. 2 years, haven't done nothing. So
wow,
crazy.
Yeah.
that's poor leadership.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Yes, it is.
So, but I'll rally, like I've got a meeting with the Blue Earth County Commissioners coming up here. Like I said, June through August is kind of my run around, meet with all the commissioners, meet with all the city councils, the school boards. And we'll figure out what the heck happened with that, because usually when people don't get what they want and they thought they were gonna get it, they call me and they yell at me and do this and that. No one from Blue Earth County has called me and yelled at me about this dam being removed. So I didn't have a good, I found out about it Saturday and then we ended on Sunday. So at that point, there's almost no chance of getting anything, because I talked with them earlier in the week. Rapidan Dam, we're good. Yep, $10 million, governor's recs, perfect, we're all good. Saturday night, not in there.
So they teaching that or using that on two different entities, the bridge compared to the dam?
Yeah, I believe they are. Yep,
Okay.
the bridge and the dam are.
So
two
if the
different
dam
things.
doesn't get touched, I guess that's not the end of the world yet, but were they gonna get a bridge done
Dam's not going nowhere. What river's already channeled around?
around it?
Yeah.
Why bother?
Well, and so the dam is the disaster part. I don't know how much disaster funding is gonna come from the bridge. There's always some local bridge fund money that you can access as a community, as a county. But that bridge is gonna be county money, so.
Even
I
though,
think they want the dam out of the way before they build the bridge, because then it could be a straighter shot.
Yeah, I don't know what the counties, like I said, so I've been to Martin County. I went to Martin County on Tuesday morning last week, the first meeting. And you are now my third meeting on the trip around the district. Adelia was just now, and then I drove from Adelia to here. So if it says anything about how much I like Adelia and Good Thunder, it's first and second city councils I've been to since session ended.
Thank you.
I didn't even stop at, I don't want to go. I think that's recording, but I don't really want to go to Fairmont City. They are a disaster. They are a disaster. So, and that's where I live there. So anyways, yeah. I'd love to get, so the problem is that we have these conversations in June and then we have 6 months to forget what we talked about. So I want us to talk closer to next session. All right. So let's get after the election. Let's get something maybe in December, maybe your city council meeting in December. Maybe it's just a couple of us putting something together with Eli about what we're doing, city maintenance plan wise. Just get me everything that I possibly can have. I mean, for heaven's sake, even if it's $2,000 for your library here, like anything that I can find in book places. I'm on the legacy committee, so there's legacy fund from your state sales tax money that goes to designated funds for cultural heritage, things like that. There's all sorts of things that we can throw with as little pieces, big pieces. And at the end of the day, it's all your tax dollars anyways. So we should get some of it back to us. And I'm hunting for Blue Earth County. So we'll have something small all the way to something big, come up with a couple ideas for me, and I'll see what I can get to fit. Right? If it's an $800,000 portion of a road, if it's $1.5 million for some water infrastructure, whatever it is, let me have a big bite, let me have a small bite, we'll see how much we can eat, right? So that's kind of my hope. And we can get back together if you can send an email out as we get closer to session, and we can have that conversation. We can hit the ground running hard for you guys next year. Be good. Any questions of me before I got this I got to go up to St. Paul today for tomorrow morning. I got to be there early for this. The governor wants to make a big deal of this veterans package that we passed the veterans bill, and it's a decent veterans bill. And he wants to do this big ceremony trying to say, oh yeah, we love our veterans. Look at me sign this piece of legislation. And I don't want to go because it's like, really, every one of those bills that turned into law, three of the 6 were mine. I chief authored them. So it's like, okay.
He's taking the credit for
I'm
it.
not going to let him take the credit. That's why otherwise I'd be like, forget about it. But if he's going to make a big to-do and people get to speak and talk, I'm going to remind him that half of those bills were authored by me personally, and the other half were my Republican colleagues.
Well, thank God it's staying in the state, not leaving the country.
Yeah, because can you ask him then too, why there's no money for out here, but we can spend $15 million on George Floyd Square in Minneapolis?
Can you believe?
What a joke.
Can you? I'm not here to get too political. This is
No, I just,
but Memorial Day 2026, he's at George Floyd Square, not at Fort Snelling Center.
not at Fort Snelling. Yeah,
I agree. I'm a veteran too.
yeah.
Anyways,
Just said, what a waste of $15 million.
you're right. But you all probably have more important things to do. So
Oh,
thank you all for your time. Like I said, let's get it done. Let's get some conversations happening. Let me see what I can do for you guys.
Great.
All right.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That guy's got all them numbers right here. Wow, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
he's into his, yeah.
Alrighty, street update, Eli.
So yeah, I'll just cruise through this quick. Cars got all the trees out and they're working on the stumps yet. Restriping. I talked to Gene from Peters Striping today. He will be here tomorrow morning to do that. Concrete down at the dump. I did haul a good chunk of the concrete out of there. There's still quite a bit back into the woods, but once it dries up again and I have time, we'll continue with
Did you
that.
just haul it to Pete or where did that go?
There's I don't want to put it out there because it's not a
Oh,
pit that's open to the public, but a local pit that, yeah, it's close and
They're gonna
worked
crush
with
it.
their guys
Okay.
and yep, that bucket that we got last year that sifts all the dirt out, that's making it. So they're like, yep, keep bringing that. So,
yeah, good.
yeah, yep. But the pit's not open to the public and it's not really fit for,
Okay.
people coming in and out of there.
Oh, just curious where it went, if we paid to get rid of it or how it went.
Nope, we're getting rid of it for free and it's close, so it's a good deal.
Nice.
June 14th, there'll be stuff going on down at the Thunder Valley Park, St. John's Church. I'll have stuff down there. There's also a bicycle ride coming through town. They'll be up here for a short pit stop. Both DOT inspections were completed today. There's some repairs done, nothing too crazy. We did spot spray around the city. Got pretty much everything, I think, for the first round. There's some sidewalks and stuff around the fire station yet, but ran the disc mower through. We did have, you can read the write-up there, but Lawn Pro spray parks for dandelions because it'd been like 6 years and they did pretty good job in the two parks and they're going to be back here with this. As far as approvals for stuff, the dust control, they're lined up for this week, weather permitting, which it looks like it'll cooperate. So just to reapply Hiller and Milky, and then we got enough quarts yet that they'll spread the quarts that we got stockpiled is 5831.
This is the same people we used last year.
Yes, yep, but we'll get it done now and then we'll make sure we get stuff down to get it to tag up and not stay.
Pretty compatible to what it was last year.
Yeah, and that went on the limestone a lot better than it did over the top of the old stuff, I thought.
That's in better.
Yeah.
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 But I think we'd have been better off to go with Red Rock right away. Or I mean, the recycled blacktop right away.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
would have been-
versus-
Because once you did that, it really binded in there then.
it did, yeah.
Together.
Yep. And all the places the only places we're having problems this year were the places we tried to patch in last time around. So I think we're just gonna have to patch them again and kind of keep going and see what happens. But I think I need approval for that one, 583118 for environmental dust control.
Do we need to put Lawn Pro on there? Because they already been here and paid already, right?
They were under
They
the,
were under the threshold.
yeah,
The what?
They were under the they were at $960.
Yeah, see,
So yeah, there's.
yeah, we had that in the budget, so we just did it as a maintenance item.
so would it be back in the fall or one treatment in the middle of the summer and then the fall?
Yeah, so his, and that kind of lines up with everything I'm kind of believing too, is you hit it in the fall and like those dandelions and stuff, take that down to the roots and then they don't come back next year. So you might still have some dandelions throughout the year popping up, but you kill them in the fall and then, so it's kind of the best bang for the buck is that fall spray.
So do
So
we
are
have
they-
their insurance on file now then, since they taken the liability for the parks and that?
I am working with, gosh, what's her name? The lady over there to get all that information. Yep.
Okay.
So are we doing that again this fall then?
Yeah, so then now that we got that initial, then we'll go once a fall. And
We can try to get back on top of it.
yep. Yeah, it's been like 6 years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 3 city guys ago.
And again, you know, this doesn't really alleviate the city from responsibility, because if somebody got something from it, well, the city allowed them to do it. So, you know, we aren't 100% off the board.
No, we just hope,
Something happened, but we have to take care of,
yeah, we hope common sense comes in somewhere.
we gotta take care of the parks because they were kind of out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, they were,
The second one was that gravel extension. I did have a company stop in and get me a price. Actually, today they were able to get me numbers over. Peterson's was roughly 60% of theirs. So with that 11,485, they were like 19 was the second number I got. So
Yeah,
do you have a copy of what you gave out to the the spec sheet?
yeah, not with me, but I can get it to
Okay.
you. Yeah.
It was brought to my attention that on there, it was in a range.
Yeah.
It was like, you're gonna take out 4 to 8 inches of dirt, you're gonna put down, and again, it's gotta be more specific, because you're gonna have one guy bidding the 4 inches, and the other guy's gonna bid the 8 inches, and your
Yeah.
numbers aren't gonna be the same.
Yeah.
So I was surprised that's what the engineer came with.
Well, without, I
Well,
mean,
it's
without,
dependent. I think it depends on if they only need, it's gonna be cheaper if they don't need to go the full 8.
If it states that in their bid. But how do you put a bid out to somebody that says 4 to 8 inches? One guy's bidding taking out 4 inches, the other guy's bidding 6 to 8 inches. Your bid's not going to be the same.
Well, they should bid a range too then. If you're given a range, you should bid a range.
Yeah.
I guess the only way to get around that would be is if we actually had the engineers come out and shoot every, shoot topo or whatever.
I'm just trying to make it
Yeah,
simpler for us down the road, not to have
yeah.
all these questions. We can get them to give us more of a form or a guideline to go by. And we won't have to, I mean, we've talked about this for 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, anything else then, Eli?
The rest of it I can cover under Brian's, or I can do it now if you want. I guess the only other thing, under Brian's that needs to be approved is there's a transfer pump that, we did a little troubleshooting on before we called quality flow, but there's a sensor in the transfer pump where if the seal goes out and you get moisture in there, then it, trips. So that had failed. They ended up pulling the pump, taking it up there, checking it out, and they said it's hashed out. So 9960 was the quote for that. That's going, just whether it matters or not, but that's going from one pond to the other. So the lift station has the 4 big pumps, gets everything from town into the ponds. This is after once it's kind of halfway done and you transfer and finish it. Yep, that's what this pump's doing. So we only have 2 of them. There's one running now doing the transfer, and we can run on one for a while, but if anything were to happen with that, we'd be
It
able
wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
About how old is this pump? Is that from when they were built?
That one wasn't, that one was an old one because the cord was, that was
They only get used, well, this year they probably only get used twice this year, because of
yeah.
when we had all that I, they were getting used transferring all the time.
Yeah, he did his second discharge, so he's on,
Okay.
batch number 2, but yeah.
You need a motion on that 11,485 too, right?
Yes, yep.
These,
Pardon?
on all 3 of these, yeah.
Yeah. Somebody might make a motion then for all 3.
I'll make a motion for the quality flow for the 9,900. Peterson for the 11,000 and pest control for the 58.
Someone a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? I oppose. Carried. Got down here part-time help.
Oh, yeah, yep, so, there was just a request for, Kellen's been doing the mowing. Just having somebody else around that's familiar with equipment, that can run equipment if I'm gone, or if I need a hand doing stuff, then I can call them up or them up, and they can give me a hand with stuff, but, just start out just seasonal for the summer and kind of see what comes from there.
As far as, I guess, well, time wise, it's kind of hard to say. It depends on what comes up. How many hours are you thinking?
I would say less than 5 a week for average for sure. And there's probably quite a few weeks where it'd be nothing. Like things like patching the roads. It's nice to have somebody in the tractor and then somebody in front of the, guide them to where they need to be and pull the rock down. Just stuff like that. There might be, half a day there.
And then if you have any mechanically stuff, you want somebody to help you with that.
Yeah. Yep. If I'm bleeding brakes or something, then
Yeah.
they can come in and do that. So.
Kellen willing to help, or does he just want to do the lawn?
Right now, Kellen's got his hands full with the lawn mowing. Yeah.
Matt Killen does a lot of trips throughout the year, hunting.
Yeah.
Hunting and fishing.
Yeah. It's like once a month, it seems like he's heading out somewhere.
Is this something you have someone in mind, or you've already talked to, or?
I have someone in mind and we're working on that. If they're, if it's seasonal, whether we have to do the full interviews and recruitment process, or if we can do more
We
of
don't
it.
have any money in the budget for a temporary employee for streets. The only money for temporary employees we have is parks. Just so council's aware. I'm doubtful. Sorry. on this.
No, that's okay.
Cause right now we're at 42. No, we're at,
Don't we have extra money in there for like extra snow plowing in the winter time? For road maintenance?
well, I'm just looking at the line item for temporary employees and there isn't zero for streets.
Oh, yes.
So,
No plowing will be streets, is what would
yeah,
that be under?
so,
Streets and highways, yeah,
and that's, yeah, highway, streets and roads, and there is nothing in there.
because I think we always had a little bit in there in case we needed to hire extra help over the years.
Approve the budget, I don't know, that's right now, I'm just telling you what it says.
Well, we better make a note then, so we put that in there in case we get a bad winter and we need extra help.
Yeah. What is our budget for parks? Where is that?
You're looking at the wrong one. You gotta look at expenditures.
This one here, Jim.
I was just trying to figure out what kind of amount we should be.
So it's on page 3/4 of the way down. So it's 45,200
4,500.
on the bottom, yep.
And how much do we use?
No, there's 40 right now, there's 4290 was the budget for 2026. So far this year, we have used year to date, $708. So there's about 35 left,
Oh, you're trying.
just in temporary employees for parks.
All right, well, yes, you better make a note that we need to adjust. Just that account. Even though there's quite a bit in there that could use that, I suppose, for this year.
Kellen will probably use 95% of that,
Well,
if not more. I mean, I'm sure there's something in here we can move over to, we can move.
Overtime.
yeah, well, even the bell tower has got $5,000 budgeted to it. That is, as of right now, we're not doing anything with.
But that needs work too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's,
that's just the time to,
I mean, can you transfer money out of the parks into road maintenance for, say,
yeah, yeah,
like the example Eli gave? You know, if you took 1,500 out of that, because what wage would the part-time
I figured
will be at,
the same as Kellen,
Ellen?
which I'm not even sure what that is, but
I don't even know,
Don't know you.
like.
16, I'm going off of what your thing was. I just did little math.
Okay, yeah,
1660 is,
yeah, 60, that sounds about right, something 16.
So if you took 1,500, you got 100 hours worth, right?
yeah, and that's
Or no?
900, right?
Yeah,
That's
100 hours worth would be, you know,
90.
10 hours would be 150. So yeah.
that's
So if you transferred a little money out of there, John, what do you think of that? That'd give Eli some money for that individual.
Who's going to use it though, so you can't take it out of the temporary employees out of parks.
no, not out of parks.
You can't take it out of parks,
You said you would
or you
do.
can't take it out of the temporary employee out of there. We can look at it and then we can bring.
Yeah.
A suggestion to the next council meeting, instead of sitting here dealing with it.
Perfect.
Sounds like a deal.
Yeah, well, move ahead with it as you see fit for right now and we'll
Anything else, Eli, or you got her all covered?
I believe I got it
Need
all.
a motion for that? Or you're not?
Probably bring back what you decided, probably, huh?
Wait till July, okay.
That it then, Eli?
Yeah, I believe.
All right,
Yep.
clerk treasurer update?
What was it? Doesn't really matter where we start. The fuel cards, I had talked to Mitch Freilich and talking about fuel cards for the fire department, and his company has, they're called Voyager cards from US Bank. There is no fee for them. Right now, we're paying $32 a month for the cards that we have, the WEX cards,
Per card or one card?
per card.
Per card, today.
So they have like 6 or 7 cards. So it's $32 a month that we're paying just for the cards. And there has been a time or two this summer or this year that they haven't used any fuel, but we're paying that $32. So I have met with the US Bank. I've met with them. I have their application. There's no fee for the cards. There's no fee for statements. They will send me an email that says the statement is ready. I log into the account. I can set up the payment. So if council's interested in that, if they want more information, I can get it. Otherwise, if I can get a motion, then I will go ahead and get those started. And once I have them, then I can cancel the WEX cards.
Free is better.
If you could fuel, and I know when you come in at night, fire night, you fuel them up. But during the daytime, we could just start a charge account. So you wouldn't have to do all that.
Correct, but however, if they end up on another call and they need something, this will also, we can, if they need to, say they're in Vernon Center and
Yeah, they'd have a card.
they would have the card.
Yeah.
And they can use, you can set the limit is they can't buy oil, they can't buy windshield washer fluid, or they can do those things. So I mean, I don't know, I think right now, is it just fuel? Can you guys?
Yeah, I don't think you can buy anything else.
You can buy anything else, yeah.
Sorry, I have to go. VBS got over early.
All right.
Good luck with the rest of it, guys.
Yep, thank you.
Sorry.
I think that's a great idea myself.
Okay,
If you want a motion,
yes, please.
make a motion to switch over to US Bank for a $0 fee. And WEX is kind of difficult to deal with anyway, isn't it?
Well, you can't set up auto payments because that's not the type of account we have. So you have to I just log in every time I get the statement and I go in to set it to pay by the due date, but they're just not as user friendly. No.
Right.
I mean, I've been talking to this lady a couple different times and got emails and stuff and yeah, so.
John made a motion, someone second,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
The other one is, last month I asked for a personnel meeting. So far I have not gotten that. I'm hoping maybe today the personnel committee can set a date for that.
With all the health issues that have been going on, we have all talked about it, and it is in the process of being scheduled.
Do you have a timeline?
Not 100%.
This week's kind of out. We can do sometime next week. If you're open. Your schedule's a little more, less flexible than mine.
Just either right away in the morning or afternoons, late afternoon.
Next week, how about Tuesday? Oh, not Tuesday. How about Monday?
Hold on, because I do have a follow-up appointment next week. 15th, Monday, no,
Wednesday?
Yep.
Wednesday's what day?
June 17th. At what time?
8:00, too early?
No, works for me. Thank you. The next one I have is our attorney has requested that we have a special meeting June 22nd. Attorney-client litigation. She's requesting it at 5:30 if that works for council. We just need a motion and then I'll post it.
Weeks from today,
Yep, June 22nd, yep.
make a motion to set that. Is that, I think,
What is it for?
Attorney-client litigation,
that's for the.
privilege, attorney-client privilege. So it's a closed, this will be a closed meeting,
Just too close, yes.
yes.
What day is that?
Monday,
2 weeks from today.
and at 5:30.
At 5:30. Correct.
I got a upcoming radiation treatment I haven't heard back from. I was on a video this morning, so all I can do is see what happens.
If we have to reschedule that, it's.
Well, that's, if we reschedule the request was so that we have it before, I think, the 24th.
Cause I'm meeting with her, I know on the 24th.
Yes, and this is why this meeting needs to she would really like this meeting to happen prior to, and this is when she's gonna be down here. So if we can get enough, we need a quorum, so.
Oh, just tell them to
Do you,
skip that day.
do you want to see if she, would have something sooner so that
No, that's what she wanted, because she'll be down here anyway. So,
we're off for,
No, leave her at that day and.
Okay.
Yeah.
perfect. That is pretty much all I had. Unless we want to go into the unfinished business,
Yeah, keep going.
with John covering while I was out, he had 70.9 hours. So I need a motion to pay how we're going to pay him, if we're gonna pay him the hourly wage he did before, before I started. Which was 2806.
and that's 3 years ago?
Correct.
Yeah, well, no, I would say he should be paid at a current rate, doing a current job.
I would just say up it to 30 and I'm fine.
I need a motion.
Somebody want to make a motion to pay John for the 70.90 hours worked at the pay rate of $30 per hour?
I'll make that motion.
Someone a second? I'll probably have to second that.
Yeah.
I'll second that. All in favor? I oppose.
I-
John is staying, right?
I was just gonna say, we need to make sure that John abstains, okay?
So. Alrighty. Anything else on under unfinished business?
Nope,
I have something there. How are we doing on the sewer behind the locker?
you'd have to reach out to the engineers for that.
Well, I mean, did they look at, are they pursuing that or?
We're still waiting. I can follow up with Clema tomorrow on,
The easement, aren't we?
easements. Yeah, we're still waiting to get easements to get I haven't seen the documents and I don't know if Bollig has them, if they're trying to get them signed or, yeah, but yeah, we still
It's
haven't
in the
got
works.
it signed. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it is still in the works, but we have not got signed easements.
All right. Maple River Chamber of Commerce.
In your packet, there's some information about that if council wants to join that.
So this
Dennis.
guy came in when Sue was out.
Sorry.
I mean, he's just trying to start this up on his own, mostly from Mapleton. From what I remember, because that's quite a while ago.
Yeah, and I know Amboy's a part of it, Mapleton is, I don't know if Vernon is or not.
I don't, can't remember, it's not that much money for,
It's $50
I don't know.
for the year.
What actually benefit we would get. But
I think it would just be a naming that we're in that chamber,
right,
probably, you know. I suppose since it's called Maple River, it would look bad because we are part of the Maple River School District.
true.
Are we gonna gain much out of it? Don't know. If the fee isn't that much, I
Sure.
guess,
They didn't care about us when they voted for Maple River School.
so I guess what everybody else feels, yes, no.
Yeah, I
We
get,
can table it until the other council are here. I don't care.
Yeah, we could wait a month and get him,
It ain't gonna hurt nothing.
yeah,
Okay,
do that then. All right, Warming House Police.
that's in your packets for review. If you approve it, I will send it on to the Pheasants Forever or whoever.
Is there gonna be a fee of $1,600 I seen that, I read that in there.
This is whatever, they sent to me that I sent on to our attorney. So that was in there, yes.
And this is pretty much a done deal anyway, right? Or not a done deal, I guess, but. Been kind of like a partnership the city's had with them for a long time.
Correct, yep.
I'm perfectly fine with it. At the streets.
Anybody else with discussion? If not, somebody make a motion to approve the lease agreement then? With the Minnesota Pheasants Incorporated, go ahead, Jeff.
I'll make the motion to approve the lease agreement.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carried. Alrighty. Miscellaneous business,
So I've had some increasing resident complaints regarding loose dogs. To be honest, there really isn't much the city can do if we don't know whose dogs they are. I just keep telling them to contact the sheriff's department. We have a lot of new residents that come into town that are not registering their dogs. I send out letters. There's not much more I can do about it. It isn't a finable offense because we don't have it that way. And it is a free service. I mean, but you can't make them do it. So just to kind of.
And I know, and so it's not gonna take time to chase down.
No. And my understanding is if you find a loose dog and you have it in your possession, they're not going to come pick it up either. Because it's in your possession, because they're not going to transport. So either you keep it until you find the owner or you let it go again, or you bring it to benches or whoever.
Yeah.
So we're kind of it's just not a good place.
it's kind of like trying to clean up yards.
Well, that's a finable offense. This is not.
Well, that was, we used to charge $10 per dog because that way they had to get it vaccinated. You knew it was vaccinated in the city limits. We had a list of that license number.
We
in
still have
city
that.
law
So you know,
That would tell whose dog owner that was, so you could call them and say, hey, here's your dog, somebody's got your dog.
again,
Well, now we don't have any of that, right?
No, I just said we have that, but we're the
But are they-
new residents that are coming into town. I know one in particular that has at least 5. And they have received letters and I'm not gonna walk up there and hand them and say, here, please fill this out. I have sent letters.
They have 5 dogs.
Uh-huh.
I think that you can't even have that many, can you?
Nope,
So.
it's not a
and
finable
Can
offense.
the sheriff do anything about that?
Nope. Nope.
So it's just like the junk car deals, you can't do nothing.
So, I mean, I have a list, we have a lot of residents that come in and get their tags, but maybe 30 tags a year, and that's probably stretching it.
I think there used to be 100 dogs licensed in this town.
Yeah. And you gotta buy tags at 100 of them at a time for almost $100 or a little over, and you get rid of 30 of them, so. But I told the residents that I would bring it up to council, so I did my due diligence.
Yeah.
When they call about loose dogs, they don't have a number of the dog, it's just that the dog is running at large.
They don't call me when it actually happens. I actually had one person in my office stating there's all these dogs running loose. Actually, the term was running amok. What do we do? And I said, you can call the sheriff. If you know whose dog it is, you can return it. You can ask them. You know, you can let me know. I'll send a letter that says they need to have it registered. It needs to be on a leash. There is some, I think there is still something on our website regarding, please keep your dogs on a leash. Or fenced yard or whatever, but
It must be more on this end, because I haven't seen a loose dog in quite a while of
I
my.
hear about them up that way and then over that way. So. I don't have a lot in
Well, I
mind.
guess that's something that may be out of our control.
I'm just bringing it up because I was asked to, so.
All right. Anything else under miscellaneous business?
The only other thing I have is in the notes. I brought up, we talked about this camper that's in the street. Now, those are the options. that we can do. If the city wants to think about it or we would just, whatever. But I know, that's been a topic of discussion, so
Yeah, well,
I just as soon figure it out or,
did it say in there
But-
somewhere where the police department said that they talked to him and
yeah, so
he said he doesn't care, doesn't want
he
it?
has no interest or in returning to the property. We can do whatever we want with it, which cannot. The gas line's been cut.
Yep.
If we get written permission from that individual and the property owner, we can access the property and remove it. However, the fee to do that is pretty expensive to get rid of it. Would you say
come pick up-
$1,000?
They come pick up junk cars all the time. Why wouldn't they
Yeah.
come pick that
They'll
up?
pick it up, but campers are trash. 90% of it is trash. You know, gotta gut it. So I talked to one individual, it cost $1,000 to have it going,
Mhm.
Jeez.
but
But we're also setting a precedence then by doing that. If we remove that, what's to keep somebody else from saying, well, if I just sit on it long enough, we'll just say, yeah, you can come take it. Well, we're not in the business of removing everybody's garbage.
and then you could have other people bringing another one into town and just leave it sitting in the driveway because they don't have.
Or, and maybe the property owner won't let you on the property. There's that too. I don't know.
Oh my, so many slippery slopes.
So this is just another thing
If they
that,
take it out of there for $1,000, there's no way you can put that cost back on their property taxes?
no,
Why is that?
because they willingly, first of all, it's not the property owner's camper.
Why can't we tow it back to the individual who owns it and put it in front of his present property right now? Why can't that be towed over to his present property?
I don't know.
Can we find that out from the lawyer? Can we hook onto it and take it back to?
How many lawyer fees do you guys want to spend on this?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I would just like to have a lawyer. We've went through these covenants and restrictions 3 times. And all we keep getting is it's not the right verbiage, not the right verbiage.
This has nothing to do with verbiage. This is simple fact that the person that owns it doesn't care about it, but we don't know if the property owner does. And it's been there for 5, 6 years now. I mean,
that's setting precedents.
Well, we gotta do something because we're not a little junkyard.
And I mean, there's other areas that there's an abandoned bus on the backyard of a house with no current license plates. There's multiple cars in town with no current license plates. It just never ends.
how much is it gonna cost to tow it? How much is it gonna cost to tow the camper to the person's house?
$1,000, well, I don't know.
See, so, I mean, and now this.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I mean, now the city has to pay for that. Like I said, a resident could go up there and knock for $200 for it and probably get rid of it. But I will ask the attorney and I will bring it back to the next council meeting.
All right. Anything else?
Nope,
There's another thing listed there. We need to discuss that or not?
nope,
One thing I got over here as a reminder, anything that is brought up in the community comment section will be heard, but there should be no discussion. The information should be taken back to council or staff to investigate, report findings at this meeting. No action should be taken at a community comment issues or statements. If somebody comes here and asks a question, we can't simply answer it now and then?
if you know it, if so, as an example.
Where did this come from?
The league. This is in the league. This is in statute. So a resident comes in, some of it could be easy. A resident could come in and say, can I get a bigger garbage can? Absolutely, we can get you a bigger garbage can. A resident comes in and says, I want my street moved over, or, want something more that's gonna take more discussion. The whole idea is the 3 minutes to keep the council meeting moving, or we can spend 45 minutes to an hour, and we have with one resident or with residents coming in with a question, which is fine. We want residents to come in and ask questions, but we don't necessarily have to give them an answer right away because we have to make sure we know the answer, that
But
we
that-
have the right answer.
But that's from the league who represents every city or municipality in the state of Minnesota. This could apply to Minneapolis, St. Paul, Duluth, Rochester, where it's
Absolutely.
huge, not little 600 head person Good Thunder where we
Like I
pretty
said,
much know people.
but sometimes we don't have an answer.
No, it's true. If it's simple enough, it should just be acted
If
on.
it's
get
simple
done,
enough,
go.
if the neighbor's lawn needs to be mowed, they haven't mowed it. Okay, well, we can go out, look, we'll send them a letter. That's something simple.
Just not putting everything off a month.
But we don't want to start giving false information either.
So if they were sent a letter, like we've done in the past, for cleanup, and they come and protest,
Mhm.
we won't answer any of them.
If they are asked to get put on the agenda, then yes.
Okay, so if they have to be on the agenda, if they come to protest a letter about cleanup property.
Mhm. We
Okay,
can state why they've got the cleanup, well, it states in there that why they've got the cleanup letter. And if it says they don't think they need to, then it would be, well, Eli will go out, he'll check out the property, we'll bring it back to council, and council will say, no, you know what, you're right, you don't have a nuisance property, or yes, you do have one. Because we don't know unless we've actually seen it, or, when they come in here, if Eli hasn't actually gone out and looked, because maybe they've cleaned it up now.
so the nuisance properties got now and the nuisance vehicles we got now, where are we gonna go with that now?
Well, they can start getting letters. 90% of the letters we sent out last year, we got action on.
Even on unlicensed vehicles?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well. There's the one down that end of town hasn't had license plates for 6 years, and there's another one that hasn't had for 4 years. So, I don't know, do we just keep sending letters in?
We'll just start the process when we get a chance.
Okay, sounds like a deal to me. Alrighty, anybody else with anything miscellaneous? If not, somebody make a motion to adjourn?
One other thing that you did say there was a letter mailed to Drummer, but no response.
Nope. But I just sent it up on the 27th, so, yeah.
Okay. Nope. That's about the only other thing that
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Someone a second,
I'll second.
all in favor? Aye, opposed, motion carried. Thanks, everybody.